This weekend, for the first time in my life, I'm headed to New York City, and I needed to do a little bit of research because I've never been. So what better way to get a little taste of the culture than to play Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom? They still got taxis over there, right? Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is a pretty simple collect-a-thon concept, but it was a whole lot of fun. We are a taxi that was constructed by this guy named Morio to combat the evil oil company Tosla, who has been corrupting all of the oil with these weird green gears that are hidden throughout the world. So Morio has built us some teleporters that we can collect green gears to power, and then we can head on through them. So we can go ahead and cruise around Morio's lab and collect the first couple easy gears to make our way into the first level. It's very important to note that this game is a work of fiction, and any similarities to real life are simply a coincidence. So anyway, we're at the start of an alien invasion, and Tosla's CEO is a guy called Alien Mosk. And the reason that this has to be done by us is because we're a spring-powered car, so the oil that's corrupting all of the other vehicles doesn't affect us. Now, are all those cars sentient as well? Unimportant. But if we want to take on Alien Mosk, we have a long way to go, so we step into the first level called Morio's home. Also, side note, if I say Mario, you know what I mean. His name's Morio. They're legally distinct. Morio's home has a very Green Hill Zone vibe to it, and you'll see throughout this game there are a lot of references to other media properties. One weird thing getting into this game is just the control scheme. You aren't using the stick of your controller to kind of direct your movement. Instead, you are a spring-powered car. You have a dash move, or you can cancel your dash move to get a little bit of a jump to your movement. Hopefully Morio isn't like super in love with his home here or anything, because we earn our first achievement, Psycho Taxi, for destroying 50 environmental objects. This game also features tons of coins that you can collect. These really don't have any impact on the game other than purchasing some different hats that you can find throughout the levels, and the majority of these hats don't really do anything. But we also see our first death in the game. We crash off of a pretty simple jump and we get the timeout screen. We'll be seeing that a whole lot throughout this game though. We continue working our way through Morio's home when we earn our next achievement. It's a business trip for unlocking Boom Beach, the second level of the game. And though the whole level is Morio's home, we actually accidentally end up inside of his actual house, and we learn that inside each of the levels there are some additional levels where you can go in and find gears as well. And in another accident, we actually find our first golden bunny and earn achievement number 3, Ooh Shiny. Most levels have 3 golden bunnies hidden in them that we'll need to collect for achievements for each of the levels as well. One kind of interesting experience that I've had through playing so many of these games and then immediately going into the editing process is you just get so much better at these kind of parkour movement-based games as you play more and more. For example, at this point of the game, I really struggled with this little bouncing parkour section of Morio's home, and it was not super great. We did it eventually, but compared to the stuff we're going to be doing in the late game, this was really nothing. We actually managed to collect all of the gears inside of Morio's home, so we decide that this is a good opportunity to head back to the base world and pick a new level to head to. We'll come clean up everything later. Now that we own some hats, we have access to the big hat rack room where we can select what we want. But the real thing here is we earn achievement number 4, downsizing, for accidentally destroying the Moribot. Oops. Instead of heading straight into the next portal-based level, we decide to head outside of the lab where we come to Grandma's Island that was built by Morio's grandma, and this is the first level where we see that there are actually other people in this world other than us and Morio, and even a little dog too. And of course, there are even more gears to collect here. Now, we're not going to get all of them really ever our first time through because we're just not skilled enough yet, but we can take a look around at least. And while we look around, we uncover that there are actually hidden levels in here too, the first one being Gym Gears, a level based around a gym. So let's check this out now. We spot this absolute unit from across the bar named Ultra Chad, who we approach and earn the achievement Personal Trainer when he gives us a little bit of a tip about being able to use our double jump ability. Nice. This was another early level that was a pretty big struggle with getting a hang on the actual movement of the game. It involved a lot of pretty tight, long-distance parkour, but doing this here actually taught us a lot about the different jumping mechanics, and it was really helpful. And we actually managed to collect all of the gears in the level for the first time, earning us our achievement Pumped Up for finishing the gears in the gym level. Sick. Exiting back out to the island, we earn the achievement Does This Make My Bumper Look Big when we enter the hat shop for the first time. And we climb to the top of a tall mountain to earn the achievement Perp for meeting the 3x MMA world champion. And we're kind of on a roll here. We earn the achievement What a Woman for looking at Granny's statue in the center of the island. And what a woman she is. Alright, enough messing around, let's get back to the main story of the game and check out the next level called Arcade Panic. Now, if you're familiar with this game, this might confuse you a little bit, but we'll get back to it later. Arcade Panic is a pretty cool level based around like a bowling alley arcade sort of level, super neat. In the bowling alley section of the game, we roll the big bowling ball down the lane to earn achievement number 10 Strike for getting a strike, easy enough. The main mechanic at work here are these green and pink switches which hit in corresponding colors to open up different parts of the level. They also give you a little bit of a jump boost when you hit them, so that's nice as well. This level is a little overwhelming at this point, and it seems like a big jump up in difficulty, which, makes sense, I guess. But we do manage to collect a couple of the gears before we head on back to the overworld. So back in the overworld, we can head into the next level called Pizza Time, an all Italian restaurant slash pizza themed level that is also pretty neat, and it introduces another new mechanic that we haven't seen up to this point. On the top right of the screen in this level and levels like it, we have a number counting down, and when it hits 0, we will lose our life and have to start over from the last checkpoint. Basically, Morio isn't here to infinitely wind us up, so we can't move infinitely like we can in other levels. So we need to pick up some taxi fares for people to wind us up in Mario's stead. We're a taxi, that makes sense, right? Another different thing about this level is that there's a guy called the Pizza King here, who gives us a quest to pick up some corrupted pizza slices in exchange for a gear. This is the first time that we have an actual, quest within the levels other than just collect all of the gears, so that's some nice variety. At the time of attempting these different parkour jumps while collecting these pizza slices in one life, this was the most difficult thing that I had done in this game, but eventually we managed to do it, and again, there is even more challenging stuff coming soon. But once we collect all 5 slices and bring them back to the Pizza King, he gives us a gear and our next achievement, Noble Knight. Back in Morio's lab, we find that we've hit a little bit of a dead end as he's filled the path forward with spikes, so now we need to figure out a way to get past those. Oh, Morio. But conveniently, the portal to Tosla's offices is right here with a Evil Incorporated-esque design that we can hop into and hopefully find a design that will assist us in getting through those spike traps. And let's go, another new mechanic. There are now these blue and red arrow things in the air that allow us to get an additional boost up while we're in the air, which is nice for movement. We collect a couple of gears outside, but we decide that the real show is going to be inside the offices, so we go ahead and head inside. And look at that, another new mechanic. In here, our control scheme changes to be controlled by the stick instead of by the A and X buttons. And now we also have to go through this maze type area while avoiding these big green alien guys in these suits. So this is kinda different at least. But while avoiding these aliens, we actually find a spring that gives us the achievement Invincible, and this golden spring is basically the star from Mario and seems like the perfect thing for mowing down anything in your path, including some spikes maybe. At the end of Tosla HQ, we finally come face to face with Alien Mosk, and we once again do another one of these top-down maze levels where we're trying to chase him down 3 times while avoiding these alien guys. And eventually, when we manage to catch him for the 3rd time, we earn the achievement Won the Battle. But as you could probably expect, this isn't the end of the game, and he jumps through the glass window and gets picked up by a UFO? But at least we get the blueprint for the spring technology, so we can bring that back to Morio. We use our new spring technology to make our way to the next level called Maurizio's City, and the main eye-catching attraction of Maurizio's City seems to be the namesake, this giant gorilla that's hanging out here. We meet a couple local superheroes that are a little bit concerned about Maurizio's well-being, and they want us to go up and check on him, so we've got another quest in this level. We're back to doing our taxi services in this one, but we do get a little bit of a new introduction, as some of these taxi jobs actually give a gear as a reward, so now we need to do all of them. And we haven't touched on it up to this point, but we get our first look at some of the corrupted cars that the gears have taken over in this level. It's really a sad sight. This level takes place in the city, so naturally, what else could be going on but construction everywhere you look. Girders being lifted up and down, guys eating big sandwiches while they're taking their lunch break, all of the classic city tropes. And along with that comes some pretty tight parkour we need to do up the buildings, and this is the new hardest thing we've done in this game. Eventually though, we managed to climb all the way up to the highest building in the map, and we hit Maurizio, earning us the achievement, the 8th Wonder. So we've helped Maurizio out, and we can feel good about moving back to the level. The next level that we head into is called Crash Test Industries, and this one is a little bit different because once again it is a full level taking place in that overhead view with the other control scheme. So things are a little bit interesting here. This is the only level where this is the case. And another lesson, here we meet the Okra taxi that goes smooch that tells us that we're not allowed to interrupt our actions while we're here, so no jumping while in this level to impress her. This level's other big thing are these moving runways that we need to make our way through to get to the next checkpoint. And when I said we're not able to jump on this level, you might have thought that would make things a little bit more direct than other levels have been, but don't you worry, we can definitely still launch ourselves all over the place to unlock lots of different things, including gears and bunnies as usual. Eventually, when we reach the end of the level, we see a big orange button, so naturally we launch ourselves over and hit it, earning the achievement, What's This Do? And this unlocks all of the orange blocks in every level in the game. There have been quite a few of these, but nothing super important yet. When we get to the end of the level, we learn that Okra Taxi was actually built by Alien Mosk in an attempt to slow us down, but we made it out of the friend zone, and we've impressed this taxi quite a bit. That was icky just to say it. Back in the lab, we find that once again Morio has built another defense system that is keeping us from progressing. We need a password that is hidden in his mind, so we need to go in there and get it out. So now we head into Morio's mind, and oh man, I have a lot of thoughts about Morio's mind. I was kind of thinking that Morio was going to end up being the big bad guy at this point, like he's slowing us down at every turn, but no, he's not. He's just inept, I guess. I don't know. This level is one of the worst levels in gaming. You move around, once again we're on a timer, but this time we're being blasted at by a laser every couple seconds being fired by a big Morio head. And oh man, this was just unbearable. There's not even other words to say. It was just an awful experience. This was for sure my least favorite level in the game, and we're definitely gonna have to come back later to collect all of the things that we miss. And it's a real shame because I like the idea of this level, all of these different references to different media properties being represented by Morio in his mind. It's super cool, but that laser, man, I really wish I could have turned it off. Eventually we make it to the end and grab the password, earning the achievement Now I Remember. And man, I really did not want to come back there ever, but at least we can progress in the game now. So now we can head into the next level, which is called Ruined Observatory. My energy was kind of zapped at this point from my awful experience in that last level, so I didn't respect this one probably as much as I should have. Morio gives us a little bit of backstory that this is where the Golden Spring and Golden Propeller were initially created, so we get access to the propeller now. The propeller is pretty cool. It gives us an additional way to boost up while we're in the air, and the first time we use it, we earn the achievement I Can See My House From Up Here, so all good stuff. The thing about the propeller though is that it only has 3 charges, so you need to kind of manage your resources as far as the jumps that you're doing, but this level serves as a good practice ground to teach you all about that. Once we propel our way to the top of the observatory, we take a look through the big telescope and we see that the moon is green. We earn the achievement What Is That? And we're left wondering the same thing. Why would that have happened? So at this point we return to Morio's lab and we head to the final battle, but we're actually 12 gears short of being able to power the portal, so let's go back and clean up some of the levels we haven't finished yet. Our first stop is to return to Morio's home and earn the achievement Full House for collecting all of the gears. We're much more confident in our movement now. We haven't fully mastered everything, but it's much easier than it would have been at the start. And the achievement Golden Child for collecting all of the golden bunnies in Morio's house is no different. Basically, we were pretty scared of trying to attempt these long jumps at the start of the game, but now they're no big deal and we can get them pretty quickly. At this point, I leave Morio's home and I'm cruising around when I notice a place called Bomb Beach, the second level of this game that I completely missed and skipped straight to level 3. So that was the skill jump, and yeah, my bad, completely missed the second level. Let's do it now. This is actually where we were supposed to be introduced on the taxi time limit mechanic, but obviously we missed it, so we jumped right into the fire. But at least now this is a pretty easy level, so we can do everything relatively quickly. We meet an ice cream vendor named Gelatoni, whose ice cream truck has been corrupted by the gears, which serves as our first boss fight. So now we head on up and do one of the easiest boss fights of all time, albeit this would have probably been much harder earlier in the game. We earn the achievement 2 Scoops Please for blowing up the ice cream truck, and I guess that'll just be Gelatoni's problem now. We go ahead and collect all 3 golden bunnies for the achievement Beach Bunnies, and all of the gears for the achievement Controlled Demolition. Again, this level was pretty easy based on everything we've done up to this point now. And with all of those gears from Bomb Beach collected, we can finally head into the Tosla HQ for our final showdown with Alien Mosk. We enter inside this laboratory and we find that there are just like regular people walking around, and also some superheroes are in here. There's also scientists and stuff, but this doesn't seem super secure, honestly. Honestly, I'm very happy with Tosla HQ as a good final level to this game. It kind of combines all of the mechanics we've had to master up to this point getting through all of the other levels, and I really honestly enjoyed it. Once we finally get to the top of Tosla HQ, Morio and the taxi have Alien Mosk cornered, and we're ready to grab him up, but unfortunately Alien Mosk retreats into his spaceship and takes off for the moon. But luckily he left behind a golden propeller and golden spring, so we grab that up and launch ourselves after him to chase him back to the moon. And so we earn the achievement To the Moon, and now we only had 3 jumps with that golden propeller, but I guess that's enough to get us all the way up here for some reason. And now we're on the moon, and Morio's just straight raw dogging that stuff. No helmet or nothing. We uncover the alien mother ship, and we find that it's been pumping that green oil out onto the moon, which is what turned it green earlier. Great. The moon is a relatively small and short level, but it's actually pretty fun to move around. We've got the kind of zero gravity type thing, so we can make ourselves float a lot more than we can on the ground. And once we collect all of the gears, we earn the achievement Yellow Taxi Goes Moon, which is a banger name for an achievement. Once we grab all of those gears, we decide to make our way inside of the alien mothership once and for all. This time we have another one of these top-down levels, but we gotta do things pretty quickly because we're being pursued by an ever-rising layer of green slime. So pretty dire stakes here. Morio and the taxi once again get Alien Mosk cornered, and we're prepared for our big final battle. Surely he's got a huge mech suit or something he's gonna pull out, but actually, Alien Mosk isn't the final boss fight at all. It's actually Morio's grandma, as we earn the achievement What a Twist. So, Grandma doesn't remember Morio. She's had some sort of giant alien transformation done on her, and we're gonna have to take her out before she continues to corrupt the entire planet. This boss fight is kind of interesting. It's once again in the top-down mode, and we need to take these giant energy ball things that Grandma is shooting and launch them into the different Tesla coils. And eventually, once we've got all of the Tesla coils destroyed, we can launch ourselves into the alien form of Grandma, earning the achievement It's Finished for finishing the game. We see the alien mothership exploding, and somehow the taxi and Morio have made it outside back onto the moon. Morio takes his time to briefly grieve the loss of his grandmother, but we've destroyed the supplier of the gears, so we've at least done something. Alien Mosk has hopped back on his spaceship, so we sneak our way on to head back to Earth with him. Perfect ending. So now we all head back to Earth, and without the corruption of the green gears being around anymore, Alien Mosk goes back to his old self, and he's pretty much just chilling on Grandma's Island from this point forward. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we obviously still have an absolute ton to do in this game. There are 2 achievements for collecting all of the gears and bunnies on each level, so it's time to start grinding. Our first stop though is to visit with the uncorrupted Alien Mosk and take a look inside of his rocket ship. Inside the rocket ship are an absolute ton of alternate levels that are unlocked by collecting all of the golden bunnies in each of the levels. So this will be the last thing that we do in the game because obviously we don't have all of the golden bunnies yet, but this is coming, so wait for it. We also ask Alien Mosk to give us a little bit of a ride back to the moon so we can finish collecting the bunnies that are hidden there and earn the achievement Myth Busted. I go in kind of a weird order to finish collecting things, but we go back to Tosla HQ to collect all of the golden bunnies to earn the achievement Fully Fueled, and then collecting all of the gears for the Out of Business achievement. After that, it's back to Arcade Panic to collect all the gears and earn Winners Don't Do Gears, and Jackpot for collecting all of the golden bunnies. I promise things will get more interesting here. It's not all just me reading off the list of achievements that are left. We return to Pizza Time to collect all of the gears for the achievement Fully Cooked, and all of the bunnies for the achievement Do Not Feed the Animals. We probably could have done the bunnies earlier in the game, but we didn't have the skill at the time. We return to Tosla offices and find a secret door. This is the first of the actual useful hats that we can use to enter the secret door with the alien disguise, earning the achievement Top Secret. Back outside of Tosla's offices, we earn the achievement Employee of the Month for collecting all of the golden bunnies. We managed to get down to 1 gear remaining in Tosla's offices, but this last one is kind of a nightmare. I have to do some pretty high up parkour that when you fail you have to warp back up to the last checkpoint, which is pretty far away, and it was quite painful. But eventually, after many attempts, we managed to earn the achievement Industrial Espionage for collecting all of the gears in Tosla HQ. I thought that this was going to be the most painful gear remaining, but oh man, if only I knew. We do another achievement that we definitely could have done much earlier in the game, taking our Morio disguise hat up to his secret room, earning the achievement You Shouldn't Be Here. We find his cool bedroom with his heart-shaped bed and pillows. Super embarrassing, dude. Maurizio's city was once a point of struggle for us, but at this point it's really not too bad at all. We earn the achievement Top Banana for collecting all of the gears, and then Business Bunnies for collecting all of the bunnies. Honestly, not too bad considering how long we spent here originally. And honestly, Crash Test Industries is also not too bad. We earned the achievement Gold Star for collecting all of the golden bunnies, and cleared for duty for grabbing all of the gears. This was a much bigger struggle the first time through, and honestly wasn't too bad to clean up. We've been putting it off, but finally we return to the big kahuna. We earn the achievement Bunnies on the Brain for collecting all of the bunnies in Morio's mind. But things are far from over. I feel like I've already been pretty critical of this level, and I don't really like to get super critical in these videos unless it's something that's really deserved. But again, I just could not stand this level. I got to 1 gear remaining. It's up on a little house that's positioned in the middle of the level, way up in the sky. So you have to hit some pretty precise timing on your jumps, while still managing to avoid the big laser from the Dream Morio. Again, this would all be solved if you could just, shut it down once you had beaten the level the first time. And I understand why they won't do that, but just the precision of these jumps, oh man, I literally spent over 2 hours working on this 1 gear alone, and if I was rating this game, this level alone would probably take a hit off of it. But eventually, I must admit, it did feel really good when we finally hit the timing on those jumps right in a row to earn the achievement A Clear Mind, and we can never deal with this level again, Jesus Christ. And everything after that 2-hour grind fest in Morio's mind is no big deal. We go back to Ruined Observatory and earn the achievement I Conquered for collecting all of the bunnies, and the achievement I Came I Saw for collecting all of the gears. I guess we kind of did that one a little bit backwards. So that's actually all of the main story levels completed. We return to the lab and collect all of the bunnies there to earn the achievement Hair Raising. So now all of our collection-based things are left on Granny's Island, and the first thing we do is travel up into the clouds to earn the achievement Cloud 9. And this was probably doable earlier, but hey, we've got the skill now. I really thought I was nearing the end of the game until I realized that there are actually a lot more mini levels left. And the first of which is the sewers, and when we enter it, we earn the achievement This Stinks. These mini levels were unlocked throughout the main story, and we just never came back to play them, but they'll be pretty quick. We earn the achievement Unclogged for collecting all of the gears, and then we earn the achievement Down the Rabbit Hole for collecting all of the golden bunnies. Not too big of a deal. The next mini level is called Fecal Matters, and it is absolutely filled with lots of cool pictures of dogs. And we earn an achievement for entering the level the first time. This level is also extremely short. We earn the achievement Scooping Up for collecting all of the golden bunnies, and Not a Chew Toy for doing our final delivery to unlock all of the gears. And finally, we return to the original side level that we checked out in Gym Gears to collect all of the golden bunnies, earning the achievement A Complete Set, and a complete Fluffle for collecting all of the golden bunnies in the game. So that's done now. I realized at this point that I actually missed out on one achievement that's only obtainable on the moon, so we go back to get it now. There are these faraway golden objects floating out in space that we launch ourselves over to earn the achievement Golden Touch. And we actually unlock the final gear on Granny's Island as we find our final delivery we need to complete, giving us our achievement Spring Cleaning. So we must be nearly done, right? Well, we're nearly done, but we're also not nearly done. We have 30 gears left to collect that are hidden throughout all of the levels on Alien Mosk's spaceship. So basically, every one of the levels that we've played throughout the game up to this point gets their own mini little level at the end here. And each one of those has 2 gears and a hidden hat on it. And once again, most of those hats don't matter, but eventually we'll get to one that does. And we need to collect all of the gears to be able to call this 100% done. These levels definitely do a decent job testing your mastery of some of the mechanics we've done up to this point. The hardest level for me was actually the second one, where we need to do some pretty tight little backwards jumps that give you some additional height. I haven't really used that mechanic up to this point, so I basically had to learn that from scratch right now. Most of these levels are just kind of mini versions of the levels that we've already completed, so not super interesting, until we get to Tosla's offices and collect a certain hat. That hat looks like Alien Mosk, and we take that back to the ruined observatory secret door, and we can finally make our way in, earning the achievement O Lore. And we actually get some interesting lore here. We learn that Alien Mosk and Morio's grandma were actually scientific partners, and that's where this whole big thing has happened from. Interesting stuff. I'm pretty glad this was here. We return to grinding our way through the secret spaceship levels, and I finally got to the Morio's mind level, and I was truly terrified that this was going to take another couple hours to work my way through, but this was actually no big deal at all. We did it first try. I couldn't believe it, really. And with all of the other levels out of the way, we finally make our way to the final level, the moon, just like the main story. We do a super big jump that we boost through with 0 gravity when we finally collect the last gear, earning the achievement Blasting Off for collecting all of the gears on the rocket, and Fully Geared Up for collecting all of the gears. We get a big congratulations, and we can officially say we have done everything in Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. So, how did we do? The average 100% time for Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is about 12 hours, and this game took me 18 hours. I was really far behind pace for this game, and honestly that makes sense. I don't think most people have the issues at certain points of this game that I had, but I still had a lot of fun other than the Morio's mind level. Honestly, if we could take that section of this game out, I would rate this game extremely highly. I had a great time playing it, and I would recommend it if you enjoy these kind of collect-a-thon games. This really scratched an itch that I was kind of wanting to play right now. But seriously though, if I could have turned that head off after I finished the level the first time through, it would have taken a lot away from the level because it's like the level's whole thing, but come on man, 2 hours to collect 1 gear. I guess the solution is just get good, play better, but man, it was painful. I don't want to do it ever again. But that being said, if this dev ended up putting out a DLC for this game or a sequel to this game in some way, spiritual or otherwise, I would definitely check it out because I had a great time with this. I just think things could be a little bit more smoothed out, I guess. This game also had a ton of side content that we didn't even look at on video because we were already getting kind of long. There was a whole mode where you needed to go and do nothing but taxi deliveries while the timer was ticking down that I played a little bit of, and there were some time trials that I didn't really take a super good look at. But there is definitely a lot to like about this game. And I hope you enjoyed checking this game out. If you have any comments or questions about it, please feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Or if you want to suggest any other games you'd like to see me check out for this series, playing 100% of, please leave those in the comments down below as well. I'm always happy to read and respond to all of those when I get a chance. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks so much for watching. See you!